Hello everyone, welcome back to IGCSE Made Easy. So today we are going to start with Cambridge paper code 0580 February March 2021 paper 4 extended. So let's start with the first question. Question number 1. The painter works for 7 hours. Calculate the amount Mr. Sharma pays the painter. The painter is charging $35 per hour and he works for 7 hours. So per hour he is charging $35. So he works for 7 hours. So 7 times 35 will give you the amount that Mr. Sharma pays him. So 7 times 35 equals to 245. So $245 he has to pay because the painter works for 7 hours. Part B. Mr. Sharma pays the plumber $252. Calculate how many hours the plumber works. The plumber charges $40 plus plus 26.50 per hour. So the plumber is charging $40 plus of $26.50 he is charging per hour, but we don't know how many hours he worked. Let's say number of hours is equals to x. So $40 is a fixed charge that he is going to charge every time, and he will be also taking per hour charge. So per hour charge I took it as x. So per hour the number of hours he is going to work that he is going to charge, but per hour he will be charging 26.50. So I'll be multiplying with x, and the total amount that he paid is 252. So if we solve this question, so 26.50x equals to 252 minus of 40. So 252 minus of 40 gives you 212. So the value of x will be 212 divided by 26.50 divided by 26.50. So the answer is 8. It means that the plumber works for 8 hours and the Mr. Sharma paid $252. Part C. Mr. Sharma pays the electrician $224. Calculate how many hours the electrician works. So let's find out what is the charge for electrician. The electrician is charging $48 per hour for the first 2 hours. Then he is charging $32 per hour. So for the first 2 hours he is going to charge $48. So if he is going to charge $48 for first 2 hours, so we'll be multiplying with 2, because for first 2 hours $48 he will definitely take, plus of what he is going to take, plus of $32 per hour. But we don't know how many hours he worked, so I'll be taking it as x. So the total amount that he paid is 224. If we solve this equation, 42 times 2 is 48 times 2 is 96 plus 32x equals to 224. So 32x equals to 224 minus of 96. Gives you 128. So x will be 128 divided by 32. 128 divided by 32. That gives you 4. So 4 is the number of hours he worked. So, but he already worked 2 hours. He is also working for 2 hours extra before, right? So 4 hours he is working plus 2 hours he is working before that he charged $48. So total hours he is working is 6 hours. 4 plus 2 is 6 hours. So let's do part D. Part D. Write down the ratio of the amount Mr. Sharma pays the painter, plumber and electrician. You know, the painter is the painter that we have calculated is 245 is the amount that he has to pay the painter, and the amount that he needs to pay the plumber is it's given 252, and the electrician is 224. So we'll write 252 and 224. We need to find out the ratio of the lowest common ratio of this. You can use a calculator. There is a small function that you need to keep it in mind. What we are going to do is we are going to find out the ratio of this two. Okay, so highest common factor we'll be doing using a calculator. So you can press alpha, and there is a button GCD over that cross button. So you can press that and write 245 and shift, then press comma, then 252. You can write 252 bracket close. You will get the common ratio of this is 7, right? Also you can check the same GCD for the value 245 and this one. So 245 and 224 we are going to check. Here also the GCD is 7. GCD means greatest common factor. That's what actually it is. It terms actually related to a highest common factor. So GCD for both of them is actually 7. So what we can do is, using a calculator, we can divide 245 divided by 7 if I do it. So GCD means greatest common division, something like that. So you can use a HCF. If you divide with 7, you'll get 35 as the first ratio. And if you divide 252 with 7, you'll get 36 as the second ratio. And if you divide 224 with 7, you'll get 32 as a common ratio. I hope you understand this question. So let's do next question. Question number 2. So describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto triangle B. So for this case, you can use your trace paper, or else trace paper would be the much better option. But I'll show you the another way of doing this also. Say this is a point I'm taking. So it's actually, I'll just show you, it is actually 90-degree so actually I'm trying to show you it is rotated 90-degree. Wait, I'll just draw it again. The center of rotation is actually 3 minus 3 comma 2, and see here the rotation is taking around 90-degree. It will be 90-degree. I just reached little like that. So actually it will be, if I start from 0 and somewhere it will be 90-degree. Actually what I'm trying to say is, here you have to find out the transformation that is happening from triangle A to triangle B. So you can figure out using the trace paper, and that's how it happened. So I was just trying to help you with how it's happening. So if there is another way of doing this, if it jumps from one quadrant to another, so it is rotating, right? No, it's like rotating is, rotation is there. You can use a trace paper to find out. Rotation is there, rotation is there, and if it jumps from one quadrant to another, just one quadrant ahead of that, right? So it is actually 90-degree rotation, right? And we can also say that we are moving anti-clockwise. So these things you have to write. And also the center of rotation for this case will be equals to minus 3 comma 2. minus 3 comma 2. Make sure that you do it with your trace paper properly, and because I don't have that proper software to add trace paper over here, so these will be your exact answer for you. Let's do the next part. Triangle A onto triangle C. So we have to describe the transformation. Actually, it is enlargement because the size of an object is reduced. And also, I want to remind you that if the object is like this, for example, if the object is like this and the image is turned opposite to that, it means that the scale factor will be negative. SF will be negative. Keep it in mind. And if the object is like this and the image is also like this, whether it is smaller or bigger does not matter. If it is image is like this, right, this is an object and this is an image. So if it is smaller, if it is in the same direction, like the face is like that, the face is like that, so it will be a positive scale factor. Keep it in mind. So in this case this gets opposite, so it is negative scale factor. So same way, you can see that the diagram that we are given with is also a negative scale factor. The reason you might have understood because the object that goes up here in this case, this is going up, and but here it is opposite to that. It means that the scale factor will be definitely negative, right? And the enlargement is there. So what you have to do is, first is enlargement. What is happening? Enlargement. The transformation is enlargement. And the second thing you have to find is scale factor. Will find, but before that, let's find out the center of enlargement. Center of enlargement, we can just join all the points together. So if I join this point, if I join this point, if I join this point with this one, I hope you can understand. Let's join it using a ruler. Let me use my ruler to join that. So it might not be that perfect, but I try to make it as perfect as possible. So this is the point that I joined, and also I have to join this point and this point. Okay, just understand the method how we are doing, so you will able to. So why we are joining? Because that point is actually resemblance of that, right? You cannot join anywhere else. That is actually the point that is being enlarged. So I'm trying to manage my ruler. So this is the point where this point is matches. Also you have to join the third point. The third point will be this one. So it will be also crossing somewhere like that. But actually I got some point that is minus 2 comma minus 1. So it will be actually here minus 2 comma minus 1, minus 2 comma minus of 1. You can also join the third point and verify it. You will get minus 2 comma minus 1 as your center of enlargement. So center of enlargement is minus 2 comma minus 1. Keep it in mind, you have to also join the third points. Okay, this point and this point using a scale. Definitely it will also go through minus 2 comma minus 1. Okay, now as I told you, because the image is reverse of the original object, so scale factor will be negative. So how much? Actually the scale factor formula is, scale factor is image length divided by object length. Okay, so what is the image length? Let's find out the image length. So let's say this is 2 unit, right? This is 2 unit, and this is how much unit? 1 2 3 4 unit, right? So image is actually smaller, right? So image is 2 unit, and any point you can see, any side of the triangle you can take. I have taken the base of the triangle. Any triangle you can say, it will be scale factor will be similar to that. So image is actually 2 and object is 4, right? So what is SF? So SF is 2 by 4. 2 by 4 is 1 by 2. So I should have written 1 by 2, but I have to write negative of 1 by 2. The reason is the image is reverse of the object. I hope you understand this part. Part B. Draw the image of triangle A after translation by vector -5 -10. So translation means shifting. So it is the column vector is given as -5 and -10. So it will shift any point you can select. Let's say I'm taking this point. Okay. So this point I'm taking. Let's in this point will be shifting -5 units towards the x-axis left side. So -5 means this is one. This is 1 2 3 4 5, right? Now this point is here. Now it has to be shipped down also 10 unit. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. It means that this point actually this point comes over here, right? And this is the first point, we got it. And second point, this point also has to reach -5 and -10. So 1 2 3 4 5 over here, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So I have reached yeah, wait, let me get 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and I have to reach it here. So actually this point is here now, right? And this point also we have to shift -5 unit. 1 2 3 4 5 unit minus, and 5 units, 10 units down. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So this point reaches here, right? So what we have to do, we just have to join all the let's use a ruler to join all the see, I just want you to understand the thing. That's why I made round and all. You don't have to make the rounds and all to represent these things. Actually, uh, to make you much to make the concept much easy, I just draw the lines and all, but no need of drawing the dots, the rounds and all in the exam. So this will be the triangle, the image of triangle A after shifting -1 -5 to -10. So I hope you understand this part. So let's move on. Part C, draw the image of triangle A after reflection in the line y equals to 4. So first we need to know that the line of the image mirror line is y equals to 4, right? So let's draw the mirror line. So if I draw the mirror line y equals to 4, this will be the mirror line, right? Then it has to, the object has to be reflected, right? Y equals to 4 line. So uh, you need to remember some of the properties, that if reflection is taking place, then the image and the object size will be same. The distance between the mirror line then and the object, and the distance between the mirror line and the image should also be same. So if it is like that, the if image is distance between the mirror line and the object line is same, so I have to draw it over here, right? So this will be the case of that, correct? And this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I'll take 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I have to stop over here, and let's join this 3 dots. One is this one, and the other one will be this one. So the other one will be this one. So this will be the image of triangle A after reflection at a point y equals to 4. Question number 3. The diagram shows two straight lines intersecting. Uh, okay. So here we have, yeah. So we have to find out the value of ABC And you should know that whenever the lines are parallel, they will be given with the arrow mark like this. Okay, if this is the case, then you should understand that the lines are parallel to each other. Also it is given here. So yeah, so we have to find out the angle ABC. Angle A is very clear that it is vertical opposite angle, so this will be also equals to 126. So angle C, so angle, finding the angle B, we can find out this angle first. So what will be the angle of that? 126 minus of 180 minus of 180 minus of 126 is 54. So this will be 54. So if this is 54, then B will be 54 corresponding angle. And also if this is 63 corresponding angle, this will be 63. Then angle C will be equals to 180 minus of 63, that is 170. So A is 126, B is 54, B is 54, and C is 63. Okay, let's move on to the part B. Point RS lies on a circle with diameter PQ. RQ is parallel to PS. Angle RPQ is 58 degree. So this is 58 degree, right? This is 58 degree given. So this will be 90 degree, because this will be 90 degree. The reason is angle made in a semicircle, right? So you should know that this is an angle, this is a triangle, right? So this is a semicircle also because it passes through center. So angle made in a semicircle is 90 degree, right? So we can write this as 90. If this is 90, what is this angle? 180 minus 90 plus 58. This one 180 minus of, the answer gives you 32. So this angle will be 32 degree. So if this angle is 32, so this angle will also be equal to 32, because these two lines are parallel. So this is transversal line. So this angle and this angle will be equal to 32. Angle X is 32 degree. So we have to show the workings for that. So angle R is 90 degree. The reason you can write it as angle made in a angle drawn in semicircle, and angle Q is 32. Angle Q is 32. Angle sum property of a triangle. Angle sum property of a triangle. Okay, so why? Because 90 plus 58, and we subtracted 180, so angle sum property of a triangle. So angle Q is 32. So therefore angle Q will be equals to angle X, and that is equals to 32, right? And the reason you have to write is alternate angle, alternate interior angle, interior angle. Hope you understand this question. So let's move on to the next part. Part C. Point ABC lies on the circle with center O. AOC is 42 degree. Find the value of angle Y. So we can draw like this and join like this, and it's now very easy to identify that you know a property that if an angle is drawn from the center, any other angle subtended is half of that, right? So if this is 100, then this angle should be 50. So if this is 142, then this angle should be equals to half of that, right? So 142 divided by 2 is 71. So this should be equals to 71. Also there is a property that you should know, that is, if all the points are joined all the points are on the circle, and it makes a quadrilateral, then this is called as a cyclic quadrilateral. And this cyclic quadrilateral has a property that opposite angle will be equals to opposite angle sum will be equals to 180 degree. If this is 100, then this should be 80 degree. So because this point, this point, this point, and this point all are on the circle, so we will be calling it as a cyclic quadrilateral. So if cyclic quadrilateral, then opposite angle sum will be 180. So angle this angle, let's say this is x. Okay, so angle x plus angle b should be equals to 180, right? So We will be subtracting 71, 180 minus of 71 to get the answer 109. So angle Y will be 109. 190. Let's move on to the next part. Question number 4. A shop gives each of 1000 people a voucher. 28 people uses their voucher. The shop now gives 16,500 people a voucher. Calculate how many of these 16,500 people are expected to use their voucher. So when the shop gives 1000 people a voucher, so 28 people were using out of 1000 people 1000 voucher, right? Only 28 people were using. So now how many of the people will use the voucher, let's say that is X, if their shop distribute 16,500 voucher. So I just made an equation like that. 28 divided by 28 when 1000 people were given voucher. Now X when 16,500 people give a voucher. So let's find out value of X equals to cross multiply 28 times 16,500 divided by 1000. That gives you the answer 28 times 16,500 divided by 1000 gives you the answer 462. It means that the 462 people will use the voucher when 16,500 total voucher is given. Part B. In a classroom activity, out of 15 students, 7 students wear the red hat and 6 students wear the green hat and 2 students wear the white hat. So it is given that find the probability that the students wear the red hat. So you know that number of students who wear the red hat is 7 out of the total 15. So that is the probability of wearing the red hat. Part 2. Two of the 15 students are picked at random. Show the probability that these two students wear hat of the same color is 37 by 105. So we need to focus that two students are being picked at random. So they both should wear the same color of hat. So what is the probability? The probability of that is if they both are wearing the same color, then they should have a red and green and green, or and W and white and white, right? So what is the probability of wearing red and red? The probability of wearing the red is this one, right? So if one of them is picked up, then the probability of wearing red is 7 by 15. If again if I'm going to select the second person, right? First person wears 7 red hat, so 7 by 15. If I select the second person, the second 7 by 15, and the second person will be we need the second person of the same kind, right? We need the person who is wearing red hat. So one is already taken, that is red hat. So now left is only 6, right? And out of the total is also reduced, total is 14. So and the other one is green and green, right? So the total number of students who wear the green hat is 6. So 6 by 15 is the total number of students who wear the green hat. If I select the another one more student from the green hat, then the number of green hat will be count will be less, right? Now it will be 5 remaining, and the total will be also reduced to 14 now. And if I select the person from white hat wearing the white hat, so the total number of white hat is 2 by 15, and that is the first time I selected. The second time if I want to select again, the number will be reduced 2 to 1, and the total will also reduce to 14 now. So if we use calculator to solve this one, you will able to identify the answer. So once you will solve all these calculation, you will end up with the answer 37 by 105. So that will be the answer that we have to show. So let's move on to the part 3. Part 3. 3 of 15 students are picked at random. Find the probability that at least 2 of these students wear the red hat. So let's draw the tree diagram to make it much more clear. So what I'll do, I'll start from a point. I'll write over here red, then here green, and then here white. Okay, this is the first pick, right? First pick. If I'm picking first student, one of the student, right? If I'm picking again, then I should have written red, green, and white. Red, green, and white. Red, green, and white. Correct. So this is second pick. Second time if I'm taking the students. This is second week. Third time if I'm taking the students, now you have to be very careful. You don't have to draw all the tree diagrams here. We just have to consider two should be red, right? At least two of the students should wear the red hat, at least two. So we will only draw the branch which has two red. So I have two red here over the first, so I'll draw here, attach with that one more red. Here also I'll get two red, because if I draw further, then I'll get R uh, G W, right? I'm getting RGW. Wait, let me draw it like that. After this one I have to write RGW, right? RGW. So because all the three branches contains two R, so I have to draw all the three branches, right? RGW. So if I start if I have to draw for this one, the RGW, so I will draw R, but I don't need G. I don't need to draw the G, because now I have two G's over here, so I don't need G. I don't even need W. I'll be having one G and one W and one R, so I need at least two R. So I'll not draw this diagram, not draw this tree branches. So after that, for this case also, I'll only draw for the case of R. G and W I will not draw, because you know that if I draw G, then W and G will be there, and W and W will be there in that case. So only I'll take the condition where I have two R. So in this case also I'll take only the R case, and in this case there is two G. In this case I'll take one. If I take, no, we cannot take, because already there are two occupied there. So in this case, W, R and R case, I'll take this one. Rest all you can see that we cannot draw anything. So our case will be like this one. I'll draw like that. R, R, R. That's the first case. R, R, R. The second will be R, R, G. R, R, G. The third will be R, R, W. R, R, W. And the another one will be G, R, G, R, right? R, G, R, R, G, R. The other one will be R, W, R. R, W, R. The other one will be, see, now it will be very easy. Now you can do it easily. Wait, I'll tell you. G, R, R. You just need to find out the condition, and the last one is W, R, R, right? W, R, R. Now the things will be easy for you to do. See, now there is only one pair which has all the three R. So we can write R, 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 right? R, R, R is actually, if what is the probability of getting a red? 7 by 15. If I take one more red, then I'll be having 6 by 14. If I take another red, I'll be having 5 by 13, right? So this is one of the condition. The other condition will be RRG, right? Now see RRG, where all we can see RRG. RRG is here. RRG is here. 2 times R and 1 G is here, right? And 2 times R and 1 G is here. So there are three cases. So what I'll do, I'll multiply this with 3 and write RRG condition. So RRG is what? If I find out R, so R will be 7 by 15, and again if I take for R, it will be 6 by 14. And in case of G, what will be happening? Because G, only I have taken red right now, both the red. I did not take any G. So number of green will be same, right? That is 6. 6 over, but the total number will be reduced, right? 13. Then the last case is, see, RRW is here. See, RRW is here. RRW is here. RRW is here. So we can write it as 3 times RRW. So R is what? R is 7 by 15. R again if we will take, it will be 6 by 14. And the case of W is, we did not take any W till now. So W will be same, right? That is the beginning, at whatever at the beginning, that was 2, right? 2 by, but the total count will be reduced, because from the beginning we are taking 15, then 14 introduced, then now it will be 13. I hope you understand now. If you will multiply all these things, right, using a calculator, you will get your answer 29 by 65. So this will be your final answer. So let's move on to the next part. Question number 5. Calculate the angle ADB. So we can use cos rule to find out, because this is the angle that we need to find. This angle we need to find out. So you should know that wherever cosine rule, where we can use it, when two sides are given, this side is known and this side is also known, and in between angle is we have to find out, right? And it is actually to find out this one or this one, right? But you should know that when two sides are known and in between angle is not known, or this one is known or this one is not known, like that we can reverse it. But you should know that two sides should be actually known to you. So we have 9.7 and 8.6 that is known to us. So what we can do is we can use cosine rule. Cosine rule says that we need to find this angle, right? So let's say this is theta. So cosine rule says that cos of this is 4.4, right? So c square, right? So 4.4 square will be equals to 8.6 square. C square is equals to a square plus b square. B square is the other side. A square plus b square minus of 2 times a is 4 point. Sorry, a is, you can write like this. A is 8.6. 2 times a into b is 9.7 into cos of the angle between, that is theta, right? But we need to find the angle that theta, right? So we have to shift rest all things towards the left side. So what I can do is let me take this all towards the left hand side, but before that I have to solve this, right? So what I can do, I can just solve this one and I'll write it right over here. So what is the answer? 8.6 whole square plus 9.7 whole square gives you some answer like yeah, we can use directly the calculator to make it done. Why we can do one thing, we can shift 4.4 square minus of uh, 8.6 square, then minus of 9.7 square, right? I just took this two towards the left side, and then I can divide this whole. Now it will be divided, right? Divided by 2 times minus of 2 will be coming down, right? 2 times 8.6 into 9.7. There we will be left with cos theta. So to find out the value of theta, after that what we can do is we can find out theta by just by cos inverse of this. Okay, so theta will be, let's find out the theta using the calculator. Cos inverse of, now we can write it like cos inverse of, so here I should write 4.4 square minus of 8.6 square minus of 9.7 square, then below minus 2 times 8.6, then 9.7, then over here I should put a bracket, so I'll get the answer 26.9. So theta is 26.9, or you can write it as 27 degree. So that will be your final answer. Part B, calculate DC length. So we have to find out DC, and here we are given with this two angle is known, 65 and 42. We can find out this angle by subtracting it with 180. So 65 plus 42 minus of 180 gives you 73. So 73, this angle is 73 degree. So if this is 73 degree, we can do one thing. We can make we can use a sine rule, right? Sine rule says that sine of 65 divided by DC, right? Sine 65 degree divided by DC will be equals to Sine 73 by 97, sine 73 by 97, 9.7, sorry, 9.7. So we can find out the value DC. So DC will be equals to cross multiply it. So sine 65 times 9.7 divided by sine of 73. You can use a calculator. Sine 65 times 9.7 divided by sine 73 is 9.19. So 9.19 is the length of DC. Part C, calculate the shortest distance between C to BD. C to BD. So shortest distance, we have to find the shortest distance will be always 90° perpendicular. Okay, so we have to find the shortest distance. This will be 90°. So again we can use sine rule. So sine 90 divided by BD is already known, that is 19.9. So 9.19, sorry, 9.19. Yeah, so we can write it as sine rule. Sine 90 by 9.19 will be equals to sine of this angle is opposite to this unknown angle, right? That is, let's say this is XC. So sine of 42. So sine of 42 by XC. So XC will be equals to sine of 42 times 9.19 divided by sine 90. So let's use a calculator. Sine 42 times 9.19 divided by sine of 90 is 6.14. So your answer is, so the shortest distance between C to BD is 6.14. So this is 6.149. So we can also write it as 6.15. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 6. The grid shows the graph y equals to a plus bx square. The graph passes through points 0, 4 and 1, 1. Find the value of a and b. So what you can do is, we know that this is one of the coordinate where the graph passes through. So we will first find out the value of a and b using that coordinate. So if this is x, right, and this is y. So if I put in this case, so y will be equals to 4 equals to a plus b into x is 0 in that case, right? So 0 square. So 4 plus 4 equals to a. So a equals to 4, right? And but I did not get the value of b, so I'll put this coordinate for finding the value of b. So I have this is value of x and this is value of y, different case. So y is 1 equals to a plus b into y is 1 in this case. So 1 equals to a is already we got it as 4, so 4 plus b into 1 is b. So we can say that b equals to 1 minus of 4 equals to minus 3. So I hope this question is clear. Let's move on. Part 2. Write down the equation of tangent to the graph at 0, 4. So 0, 4, the graph is, the point is here, 0, 4. 0 is x-axis and 4 is y-axis. So this is the point. So we have to draw a tangent on this point. So we have to name this tangent. So you know that this is actually y equals to 4 line. So we will be writing the answer as the equation of tangent is y equals to 4. The equation of the tangent to the graph x equals to 1 is this one, and see, equation of tangent to the graph x is equals to minus 1 is this one. So equation of tangent to the graph x equals to 1. See, we are just changing the direction of that. So where the positive minus 1, when we have x equals to minus 1, so we have tangent like this. So where x equals to minus 1, we have tangent like this. So when we have plus 1, we'll be having tangent like this. Irrespective to that, the y coordinate, the y intercept will be same. Okay, that will be intersecting at plus of 7. So if it goes up, it is definitely going to meet at plus of 7. That will be same, but the change is what? Positive and negative of the gradient. This is plus of gradient, right? And this is negative of gradient. So what is happening? And uh, here we can say that if the gradient of the if the tangent of the graph at point x equals to -1 is this one, so x equals to +1 will be just the gradient will be different. So y equals to gradient is minus 6 for the case of first case. So for this case the gradient will be negative of 6. I told you the y-intercept, that is 7, that will be same for both the case. So as I have shown this diagram, if I extend this one, it is going to both of the case, it will definitely meet at point 7. So let's do the next question. Part B. The table shows the values of y equals to 1 plus 5 by 3 minus x, and we have to find out the incomplete value. So we can use a calculator. How we can do it, I'll show you. We have to just write all these equation in a calculator. So I'll be writing like 1 plus 5 by 3 minus of, and x I can write it as alpha and x. Then this is the equation I wrote it. Now I'll be pressing calc LC key in from a calculator. Then it will be asking x question mark. So we'll be writing minus of 1. So for this case I got the answer as 2.25. So minus 1 gives me 2.25. So again I'll press CALC. It will again ask me x question mark. So I'll press 0 and I'll press equal to sign. It will give me 2.6. So 2.6 is the repeated value. So 2.67 I can write, because it's a it's a terminating, actually it's 6666 will be repeated value, right? So we can write 67, right? Then if I again press calc button and write 1 on it, I'll get the answer 7 by 2, that is equals to 3.5. So for the case of 1, I'll get 3.5 as the answer. Part 2. On the grid, draw the graph of 1 plus. So the same graph we have to plot it using this table that we have solved right now. We are going to plot in the graph. I'll plot and I'll show you. So let's plot the point. So the first is minus 2 and 2. So minus 2 and 2 is here. And the second point is minus 1.5 and 2.11. So the next point will be somewhere here, 2.11. And 2.11 somewhere here, and next point will be minus 1 and 2.25, minus 1 and 2.25. So 2.25 will be somewhere here. Then minus 0.5 and 2.67. 2.6 is here, 67 will be somewhere here, and 0 and 2.67, 0 and minus 5 and 2.43. So 2.43 is this one. Then we have 0 and 2.67, 2.5, 2.67 somewhere here. Then 0.5 and 3, 0.5 and 3 is this point. Then we have 1 and 3.5, 1 and 3.5 will be somewhere here. Then 1.5 and 4.33, 1.5 and 4.33 will be somewhere here. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So we have to join this curve. We make sure that it is actually little smooth, so like this. So now the question says we have drawn the graph. Write down the value of x where the two graphs intersect. We have to write down the value of x. So value of x we can find out. This one is the two graph is intersecting at this point and this point, right? We can use a scale to, so the point that the intersection point is around, this is, so intersection point, so we can say that 0 0.5 0.75, yeah, this is 0.75 minus 0.75, so that will be the intersection point of one value of x is minus 0.75, the other value of x will be this point, so that is plus of 0.5 0. Can say it as, so we can say this as plus of 0.6. so both the values of x we got it where the point intersect, plus of 0.6 and minus of 0.75. Part 2. So for to solving this question, we already have one of the equation that we can take it from 6a1, and the equation that we know is, we got it as y equals to a plus bx square, where the value of a was 4 and b was minus 3 x square, and the equation that we can write it as y equals to 4 minus of 3 x square. In this case, this is one of the equation. The another equation that we have it is here, so y equals to 1 plus 5 by 3 minus of x, because both the things are equal to y, so we can equate this together. So we can write it as 1 plus 5 by 3 minus of x equals to 4 minus 3 x square. So for solving this, because we need to form this format, we can make it in this form of equation. So we can do one thing, we can shift this 1 over the right, so 5 by 3 minus of x will be remained, so 4 minus 3x square minus of 1. When I shift this 1 minus of 1, this 4 minus of 1 will be 3, right? So 5 by 3 minus of x equals to 4 minus of 1 is 3, so minus 3x square plus of 3 will be there. Now let's cross multiply this one. I'll be cross multiplying this 3 minus of x towards that side, so we'll be having like 5 equals to 3 minus of x will be taken over the right hand side with cross multiplication, minus 3x square plus of 3 will be remained. So if I cross multiply this, so like this, expanding the bracket, so 3 into 3 is 9, but minus of 9x square, then plus of 3 3s are 9, then this way we can do. So then minus minus gives you plus, so plus of 3 plus of 3, yeah, 3 times 1 is 3 x cube, then minus of 3x. okay, so now we can rewrite the equation by shifting all the values. So if I shift this 5 over right hand side, it will be under this 9, because 9 can be subtracted with 5. Yeah, 5 can be subtracted with 9, so we can write it as minus of let's write all the equation together, 3x square 3x cube first, then minus of 9x square, then we can subtract 9 with 5 to get 9 minus of 5 is 4, so as well as we can write minus of 3x plus of 4, that will be equals to 0. So we got this type of equation, ax cube minus ax cube plus of bx square plus cx plus d. So this is the format here, so this will be the answer. Question number 7. The box and whisker plot shows information about the marks scored by some students in the test. So write down the median marks. So median marks is exactly this line, right? This is the median marks. So that shows 70. So median will be 70. Work out the range. The range will be the maximum value, that is 90, and minus of the minimum value, it shows 12. So 90 minus of 12 gives you the range, that is equals to 78. Part 3. Jay scored a marks that was higher than marks scored by 75% of students. Actually 75% is termed as the upper quartile, right? So that is actually this one. right? This one is the upper quartile and this one will be the lower quartile. So 75%. So wait, let me erase all the parts over here. So 75% is this one. So that value is actually 86, right? It means that JS scores is more than 75%. It is more than 65, and she will be scoring less than equals to 90 degrees. So value, you can write any value in between more than 86 and less than 90. So I can even write 87. Okay, any value you can write, any one value, more than, but it should be more than 86 and equal to 90, less than equals to 90. So let's move on to the next part. Part 4. The plot shows information about marks scored by the same students in the second test. This is the plot scored by the second test. So we have to write, make one comparison between the distribution of marks in the two tests. Comparison we have to write. So basically we can do the comparison of the median. That will be the most easiest way to do. So this median is 70, right? And here the median is 70 to 74. So by this we can understand that, by comparing the median, we can understand that this is the second test. In the second test, the students performed well, right? If you compare the median, uh, if you compare this median, students score better than student score better in second test. Second test you can write, and if you are comparing it to the range. See, if you are comparing it to the median, you can calculate the value, which one has higher value. If you are comparing it to the range, that is like, if you are comparing it to the range is actually this one, right? For this case, the range is 100, 90 to 94, 95, 96, 97. Yeah, 97 minus of 30. So the range is around 67, right? The range is 67 here, and here the range we got it as 78. See, the range we got it as 78. We already calculated here 78. So we can say that if the range is less, the students are more consistent, right? Because the data are more towards in the one way, right? So if we are comparing it to the range, we can say that students are more consistent in this part, second test, right? Student are more consistent, as you know that all the marks lies in between this two, this range only. That's why we can write, either we can write this one or this one, because they just asked one comparison. I just told both of the comparison. You can write any one that you feel easy. Part B, we have to calculate the mean value. So first of all, you should know that for calculating the mean, I have to find out the mid value. So mid value of the class interval 20 plus 0 divided by 2. 20 plus 0 is 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. I'll write the mid value of that. 30 plus 2, 20 is 20. 30 plus 20 is 50, and 50 divided by 2 is 25. That is the mid value. 34 plus 30 is 64, and 64 divided by 2 is 32. That is the mid value. 74 divided by 2 is 37, and 100 divided by 2 is 50. So these are the mid value. What I'll do, we will multiply the frequency with the mid value. Okay, so we'll multiply the frequency, that is multiply the frequency with the mid value, and we will add with the second interval, that is frequency, and multiply with the 25 times 9, and then we will add that with 32 times 20, then we will add that with 37 times 15, multiplication of 50 times 2, and we will divide all together with the total value, that is 50, right? If you will calculate this value in your calculator, then you will get the value of these as 31.2. That will be your final answer. Part C. The table shows mass of m gram of each apple is recorded, and it is being plotted when we have to find out the value of x. And we can use, see, this is frequency density, and we know that the frequency density equals to frequency by class width, right? Frequency density is frequency by CW, class width. So this is actually frequency, right? This is actually frequency table. So we can find out the value of x, that is frequency equals to frequency density times class width. We can write it as frequency density times class width, right? Multiply of that. So what is frequency density of this particular class interval? Class width is what? 115 minus of 110. That is 5. So class width is 5. And and what is frequency density? Frequency density of 110 and 115. 110 is this one, 115 is this one. The frequency density of this is this value, right? So it takes, this is 7. So this is around 2, 4, 6, 7.6. So this is 7.6. So frequency equals to what? Frequency density is what here? That is 7.6 into class width is what? Class width is 5, because 115 minus of 110 is 5. So 7.6 times 7.6 times 5 gives you 38. 38 will be the frequency as well as the value of 38. 38 will be the frequency as well as the value of x. Part 2 says we have to complete the histogram. Actually, histogram is a frequency density. So we can use this actually formula to finish up the table, finish up the graph. So what is this? This two are already drawn till 115 is drawn. So 115 to 125, 115 is here. To 125 is this case, 125. So what is the class width of this? Class width of this is 125 minus of 115 is upper limit minus of lower limit, that is 10. The class width is 10, right? So frequency density for this case is what? Frequency, that is 44 divided by class width, that is 10. So frequency density that we have to draw it in this diagram is 4.4, because 44 divided by 10 is 4.4. So 4.4 will be somewhere. So 4.4 is somewhere here. This is 4.2, this is 4.4. So we have to draw up to 125. So this, so you can use your scale. So we can draw it like this. So this will be the 4.4, that is frequency density. And the another one is frequency density for the class interval 125 to 140 is actually the what is the class width of this one? 140 minus of 125, that is 15, right? So class width is 15. So and the frequency is 51. So 51 divided by 15 we have to do. So 51 divided by 15 equals to 3.4. So 3.4 is the frequency density. So 3.4 will be somewhere, this is 3, 3.2, 3.4. So it will be till 140. So we have to draw it till here. So this is how we have to finish up the histogram. Question number 8. So the diagram shows a sector OXY of a circle, and the radius is 9.5, and OA is equals to OB, and OY is 9.5. That is the radius, right? So we know that to find out the area of the sector, we can use the formula. Area of sector is theta by area of the sector is theta by 360. Oh, wait, just give me a second. Let me set this. Theta by 360 times pi r square, that is the area of the sector, and theta will be this one, 53. So 53 by 360 times pi into r is area of the sector, r is 9.5. So 9.5 square. So we can use our calculator to solve this. So we can write it as 53 times pi times 9.5 square divided by 360, that gives you the answer 41.74. So your area of the sector is 41.74. That will be your final answer. Yeah, also we have to provide the answer in one decimal, that is given here. So one decimal we can write it as 41.7. So that we can write, this will be our final answer. Let's do part 2. In part 2, the area of triangle OAB is 1/3 of area of sector OXY. So this triangle area is, let me erase all the part for you. So the triangle area, this is the triangle area, that is 1/3 of the sector whole area, right? This sector whole area. So this whole area, that's what I'm talking. So what we can do is, we can write the triangle area as the formulas, half of both the sides, that is because they have given OA is equals to OB, so OA is equals to OB. Let's say this length is x, so this length will also be x, right? So because OA is equals to OB is there, so half of x into x, because both the side half into a into b, that is x into sine of the in between angle. Sine of in between angle is what? Sine of in between angle is 53. So that will be equals to, this is the area of a triangle, and that will be equals to 1 by third of the area of OXY, right? So just now we calculated the area of OXY, that is 41.7. So if we will solve this like x square into sine of 53, sine 53 is equals to 1 by third of 41.7. If we try to solve this, so we will be getting x square equals to 1 by third into 41.7 into 2 divided by sine of 53. So I just cross multiplied it. Let's use calculator to finish this question. So we have 41.7 times 2 divided by 3 wait 3 times sine of 53. So we get this answer as 34.80, and we have to 34.80 is 34.80 is this one value, so we have to also under root this to find out the value of x, right? So if I square root this value, square root of the answer, I'll get the value 5.89. so 5.89 can be written as 9. So this will be the value of OA. Part B. So diagram shows a sector OPQ of a circle with center O and radius 24. So cone is made from this sector. A cone is made from this center. This sector, actually sector is used to make the cone, and we have to find out the volume of the cone that is made. So we can first find out the value of PQ. So PQ is actually equal to, PQ is this one, right? This one is also PQ, and that is also PQ, that is circumference of the circle. So PQ is actually the arc length of the sector. So arc length is equals to what? Theta by, PQ is theta by 360 times 2 pi r, right? That is the arc length. So PQ is the arc length, so theta is 60 there, 60 by 360 times 2 into pi into r is what? R is 24. So I have solved this in a calculator, in my calculator, and the value of PQ that I am getting it as 8 pi. So you can see in my calculator. So 8 pi, we can solve this in a calculator and you will get the value of PQ as 8 pi. So actually PQ is equals to the circumference, that is equals to 2 pi r, right? That is equals to 2 pi r. So PQ is 8 pi, so 8 pi equals to 2 pi r. So here the pi and pi got cancelled out, so r will be 8 by 2. So value of r is 4. So the radius of the cone will be 4, right? So this is 4. Height we don't know. Let's take it as h. And but O, this slant height we know. Slant height is this one, 24, right? Slant height is the radius of the sector, 24. So we can use Pythagoras theorem to find out the value of h. So h will be equals to what? 24 square minus of 4 square. And you can use a calculator. So 24 square minus of 4 square, that gives you the answer 23.6. So 23.66 is the value of that. So we can write this as the value of h, 4 root 35. We can keep the answer like that, and then we can use the value of h in the volume formula, pi r square into h. So 1 by 3 pi r square h, 1 by 3 pi into r is what? R is the radius, that is 4 square, into h is what? H is this one, so 4 root 35. We can use a calculator, so we can write it as, yeah, we already got 4 root 35 times of 4 square times of pi, and then that answer we have to divide it with 3, so we'll get 396.4. so 396.4 we can write it as, or 396.5 also we can write this answer. So I hope you understood this. Let's move on to the next part. Question number 9, factorize. So we have to factorize this. Let's take common from this 2 and this 2. So we know that we can take out 5a from the first two term, and then we'll be left with m plus 2p, put a bracket, minus of, we can take b from this two term. So if I take b, so we'll be left with m plus 2p again inside. So we have m plus 2p, so we'll combining it. So m plus 2p, and then this one 5a minus of b, 5a minus of b. So your answer is m plus 2p, right, m plus 2p and 5a minus of b. So let's move on to the second part. So we have to factorize this part 2 also. So we can see that k plus g and k plus g are common in this 2. K plus g is available, k plus g is also available here. So we can take out 15 and 20 both goes in 5 tables. So 5 we can take it out, and k plus g also I'll take it out. So what is the left part inside? Inside will be 5 times 3 is 15, and 1 k plus g will be left, right? K plus g, yeah, then minus of 4, because 5 times 4 is 20 and k plus g is there. So now we are having this answer, so we can just open up the bracket. So k plus g is here, so we can just open up the bracket, 3k plus g minus of 4. So our final answer will be 5 into k plus g and 3k plus g minus of 3k plus g minus of 4 will be our final answer. Sorry, it should be 3k plus 3g, right? Because we are multiplying this g also. Yeah, it should be 3k plus 3g. So here also 3k plus 3g. So 3k plus 3g minus of 4. So let's do part 3. In this part 3, we can factorize this with the formula a square minus of b square. So a square minus of b square. So a square minus of b square equals to a plus b and a minus of b. So this is actually a square and this is b square. So we have to make it like that. Actually it is not a square because x is only having the square. So we can write 2x. Now I'm trying to make this 4 also inside the square, right? So 2 square is 4 na? So 2x whole square minus of y square whole square, because I want a square on the side, right, on the as a power. So I am making y square to the power square. So now it becomes a square minus of b square. So a is actually 2x and b is y square. So a plus b is, we can write a as 2x plus b is y square, and a minus b is 2x minus of b is y square. So this will be our final answer. So part B, actually we have to expand this and we have to simplify this one. So let me expand this question and simplify it. So what we can do is we can just first simplify this too. So let's simplify that, expand the bracket and simplify. So this will become x square plus of x minus of 3x minus of 3x, then minus of 3, correct? Then put a bracket. Then the next part we are keeping it as it is, 3x minus of 4. I just expanded the bracket like this, and this, right? Then we have to expand the bracket same way. So this one with this one, this one with the, wait, this one with this one. So then this one with this one is this one, and this one is this one, right? Like that. So let's expand it. So 3x into x square is 3x cube. Then 3x into x is plus of 3x square, 3x square. Then 3x minus of 3x is minus of 9x square. Yes, minus of 9x square. Then 3x into 3 is minus of 9. Then we'll be using 4 now. Minus of 4 into x square is 4x square. Then minus of 4 into x is minus 4x. Then minus of 4 into minus of 3 is plus of 12x. Then minus of 4 into minus 3 is plus of 12. So we can pair the like term wherever the squares are there, we can add it together. So we have the only cube term, that is 3x cube. So square term is this one, and then we can use a calculator to add all the x square term. X square is 3x square plus 3x square minus of 9x square minus of 4x square is there, so we can use a calculator like this. So 3 minus of 9 minus of 4, that gives you minus of 10. So I can write minus of 10x square, that's all. Then we have x term. So x term is minus of 4x and plus of 12. So minus of 4 plus of 12 gives you 8. Do we have any other x? Yeah, there is one small mistake. Actually, there here it should be x, right? Because 3 into 3 is 9, and 9 minus of 9, x should be there. So we have 3 x term, right? One is this one, and one is this one, and one is this one. So you can do like this. So minus of 9, minus of 4, and plus of 12, that gives you minus 1. So minus 1x or minus x you can write. Then we have plus of 12, right? That's all, plus of 12. So our final answer is 3x square minus 10x square minus x plus of 12. So let's move on to part C. So part C, we can easily do it. Just you can see there is a square written. It means that we can open up x plus a and x plus a. We can write 2 times x plus a, right? That's why square is written. And we can equate it with the equation x square plus of 22x plus of b, right? So if I open up this bracket, it will give me x square plus of ax plus of ax plus of a square, right? So further, if I solve it, I'll be getting x square equal plus of 2 ax plus ax plus ax is 2 2ax plus ax is 2ax, right? Plus of a square, right? That is equals to the same thing, right? That I can write it here itself, the same thing, x square plus of 22x plus of b. And now you can see that over the left hand side x square is there, here also x square is there. So this will be equals to this one, right? And this will be equals to this one. So 2ax will be equals to 22x, right? So x and x got cancelled out. So a will be equals to 22 divided by 2. So a will be equals to 11. So same way we can also equate a square, that is this one, equals to b. So a square equals to b. So b equals to a square. So a is 11. So a square is 11 square. So b is equals to 11 square is 121. That is the value of b. So a is 11 and b is 121. Question number 10. A box is a cuboid with length 45 centimeter and the width is 30 centimeter and height is 42 centimeter, and we have to find out, we have to calculate the density of this, and it's, we have to calculate it in kg per meter cube, and the box is completely filled with 90.72 kg of sand. Density is mass upon volume, so mass is already in kg and the volume we need to calculate in meter cube, right? So what we can do, we are having in centimeters, right? We are having in centimeters, so we can change the centimeter into meter. So 45 centimeter divided by 100 will give you in meter, that is 0.45, and this side will be 30 divided by 100, so that will be 0.3. Okay, and same way this will be 0.42, right? So just dividing it with 100 to get in meter. So now we got in meter, right? So when I multiply all this, volume is actually length into breadth into height, length into width into height. So if I multiply all these things together, so 0.45 into 0.3 times 0.42, that gives you the answer as 0.0567. That is the total volume. So density is, mass is 90.72 divided by the total volume is 0.0567. 0.0567. So we are going to divide. So we'll be writing 90.72 divided by the answer. We'll get 1600 as the density of this. Part B. A bag contains 50,000 centimeter cube of sand. Some of the sand is used to completely fill a hole, the shape of cylinder. Actually, now the hole is in the shape of cylinder. So the hole is 30 centimeter deep and the radius is 30 centimeter deep, and the radius 30 centimeter deep is the height of that, and the radius of that is 10 centimeter. So some of this sand, out of this volume, some of the sand is being used to fill this hole. So what is the volume of this hole? Let's find out the volume of this hole. Volume will be equals to pi r square h, right? So pi into r is 10 square into h is 30. So that will be the volume, and this is the volume, and this divided by the total volume, right, that we are going to use. So what we can do, this is pi into 10 square is 100 times 30 divided by 1000 15,000 times of 100. If you will do, I'll get the percentage. So what I can do, I can write this as pi times 100 times 3000 30 divided by 15,000 times of 100 times of 100 to find out the percentage. So we'll get 20 pi, or we can also write it as 62.8. 62.8. So this much of volume is used out of 15,000. That's why I'm dividing. Okay, this much of volume is out of 15,000 volume. That's why we are dividing that. So now we got 62.8 percentage of volume is used to fill the hole. Part C. Sand cost 98.90 per ton. This cost includes a tax of 15%. So actually they are saying that 98.90 per ton is the cost, and this 98.90 is actually this itself includes a tax of 15%. So this is actually included tax of 15%. So what will be the excluded tax? Let's say the excluded tax without the tax is X. Okay, cost of sand per ton without the tax of X, without the tax is X. Okay, let's say it is X, and after including the tax, that is 15% of X. If I include 15% of tax with X, that is without the tax is X, and I included 15% of that now, and now I have to pay 98.90, correct? So if I if I find out the value of X in this case, so it will be 100x plus of 15x equal to 98.90. So this will give me 115x divided by 100 equals to 98.90. If I solve it further, so value of X is 9890. X will be equals to 9890 divided by 115. So 9890 divided by 150 gives you 86. So the value of X is 86. So they are asking you to find out, calculate the amount of tax paid per uh, calculate the amount of tax paid per ton of sand. So what is the tax paid actually? Actually, the amount that we have got is this amount is actually uh, this amount is before tax paid, right? And after tax paid, this is the amount. So before x, we got it as before tax paid. 86 was before that, before the tax we paid, and now we are paying tax with tax 98.90. So what is the difference? That is the tax amount that we are paying, right? So 98.90 minus of our answer that we got it. So this will give you 12.9. So it means that 12.9 is the amount that we are paying extra as a tax. Okay. Part D. So Raj buy sand, and that cost 3,540 rupees. So $1 rate is 70.8. What is the cost of dollar when after exchange? So what is the cost of dollar actually? So what we can do, we can divide 3540 divided by 70.8, and we can find out the answer. So 3540 divided by 70.8 gives you 50. So he has to pay $50 instead of 3,540 rupees. So let's move on to the next part. Question number 11. Gaia spends $48 to buy books that cost x dollar each. So write down an expression in terms of x for the number of books Gaia buys. So you can see that the total number of total amount that she spent is $48, and each book cost is x dollar, right? So number of books, for finding the number of books, what we have to do, number of book will be equals to the total amount that she spent, that is 48, that we have to divide with each book cost. Each book cost is 40x. So for the total amount that she spent divided by the each book cost will give you the expression for number of books. So let's do part B. Part B. Myra spent $60 to buy book that cost x plus 2 each. So $60, he buys $60, he spends total of $60, and she spend each book, that is x plus 2, each book cost x plus 2. And this is actually 4 book more than Gaia bought, right? So we can write it as like this. Gaia and Myra, we have to equate it. So Gaia book is 48 by x. So 48 by x. If we equate this one, if we equate this equation, so we'll get like let us equate, and yeah, we have to take an LCM of this one. So we can write x plus 2 multiply x plus 1, x plus 2 into 1, x plus 2, then cancelled out. 60 plus 4 into x plus of 2 cross multiplied. Okay, so 48 by x, I just did cross multiply this and this and multiplied this and this over here. So this is the way I got it. So then we have to further solve. 60 plus 4x plus of 4 times 2 is 8 divided by x plus 2 equals to 48 by x. Let's again cross multiply this. Let me write it over here. So this will become x into 60 plus 4x plus 8 equals to x plus 2 into 48. So 60x plus 4x square plus 8x will be equals to 48x plus 48 into 2 is 96. So we can pair all the like term. So we have 4x square over left side. 60 plus 8 is 68x plus of 68x. If I take 48 over the left, it will be minus of 48x. Then minus of 96 equals to 0. So for 68 minus of 48 is 20. So plus of 20x minus of 96 equals to 0. Still we did not reach this equation, right? So we have to divide it with 4 to, I'll divide all with 4 to reach this equation. If I divide this with 4, I'll get x square plus 5x minus of 24, that is equals to 0. So this is how we can show. Okay, then after that, solve by factorization. So we have to factorize this equation. So we can use middle term split to solve this. We can multiply the extreme term. The multiplication of extreme term is minus 24. So factor of that is what? So factor of that is 1 times 24, 2 times 12, and 3 times 8. So 3 times 8 can be the one possible way, because 8 minus of 3 gives you 5, right? So I can break it in this way. X square, I can write minus of 3x plus of 8x, because minus 3x plus of 8x is plus of 5x, right? Then minus of 24 I will write equals to 0. Yeah, we'll later on write it. Now let's take common out from this 2. If I take common out, x minus of 3 will be here this side, and if I take common out this side, I'll be having 8 without x minus of 3. Yes, so we got x plus 8 and x minus of 3. So value of this will be equals to 0. So value of x plus 8 equals to 0. So value of x is equals to minus 8. So x minus 3 equals to 0. So value of x is 3 plus of 3. So let's do part D. Find the number of books Myra buys. So what is the equation of Myra? Equation of Myra is we got it as where is that? 48 by x is equation of Gaia, and Myra is 60 by x plus 2 is the equation of Myra. So 60 by x plus 2 is the equation of Myra, and the value of x I'll take it as positive, because negative value I will not take. So let's find out the number of books. So number of books I have to divide with this one, right? So x is 3 plus of 2, that is 60 by 5. 60 by 5 gives you 12. So number of books that she is going to buy is 12. Question number 12. Find the gradient of the curve y equals to 2x cubed minus 7x plus 4 at x equals to 2. So what we can do, we can find out the gradient by differentiating the equation. If I differentiate this, I'll get dy by dx equals to 6x square minus of 7. So I can put the value of x over here right now. So value of x is minus of 2 square minus of 7. So if I use my calculator, then 6 into minus 2 square minus of 7, you get the answer as 17. So 17 is the gradient when the value of x is part B. A is the point 7 comma 2 and B is the point minus 5 comma 8. Calculate the length of AB. You know that to find out the length of AB, we can use the formula under root of x2 minus of x1 whole square plus y2 minus of y1 whole square. We can use this formula to find the length. So we can also write this is x1, this was y1, this is x2, and this is y2. So we can use this. So x2 minus 5, x1 minus x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 is 8 minus of y1 is 2 whole square. If I use my calculator to solve, let's do a little bit further. Minus 5 minus 7 is minus of 12 square plus 8 minus of 2 is 6 square. So let's use our calculator to solve this now. Yeah. So under root of I'll write minus 12 square, then plus of 6 square, that gives you 13.41. We can write the length is 13.4 also. So let's move on to part 2. So part 2, find the equation of line that is perpendicular to line AB and passes through point this one. So we need to find out the perpendicular line that passes through this AB. So A is 7 comma 2 and B is minus 5 comma 8. So there is one line perpendicular to this line and passes through point 1 minus 1 comma 3, right? So we have to find out the equation of this line in the form of y equals to mx plus c. So we know that if two lines are perpendicular, they have some relation with magnitude or the gradient. We call it as m1 into m2 is equals to minus 1. So let's find out the gradient of this line AB. So how can I find out gradient? M equals to y2 minus of y1 divided by x2 minus of x1. This is how we can find out the gradient of line AB. So y2 is minus 5, sorry, y2 is 8 minus of 2 divided by x2 is minus 5, x1 is minus 7. So m is equals to, we got m as minus 6 by minus 12, so m will be equals to minus 1 by 2. So this is the gradient of AB line, right? So what will be the gradient of this line? So that line will be just like, we can easily find out the gradient, like either you can use m1 times m2, this formula, we can use this formula, m1 times m2 equals to minus 1. So m1 is AB, that is minus 1 by 2, and m2 equals to minus 1. So m2 will be equals to what? Minus 1 times 2 divided by minus 1. So minus 1 cancel, m2 equals to 2. So the magnitude or the gradient of this line is equals to 2, right? Or else directly you can say that the magnitude of this line will be reciprocal of 1 by 2 will be 2, and sign will be changed, plus of 2, like that. Or else you can use this formula, m1 times m2 is equals to minus 1. Okay, once you got the value of m, we can go to the equation y equals to mx plus c, where the value of x and y, I can take it from here, this is x and this is y. So y is 3 and m I got it as 2, and x is minus 1 plus of c. So 3 equals to minus 2 plus of c. So c will be equals to 3 plus 2 is 5. So we got the value of c as 5. So we can write y equals to mx plus c, where y is equals to y equals to m is 2x plus c is 5. So this is the final answer. Part 3. So for this question I'll be drawing a graph for you. I just plotted this graph for you. Let's find out using the graph. So the point A and B, already we got it from the previous question. So point A is 7 comma 2. So 7 comma 2 will be somewhere here. That is point A. And point B is minus 5 comma 8. So minus 5 comma 8 will be somewhere here. Okay. Minus 5 comma 8. So if I join this, I'll get AB line, right? If I join this, I'll get AB line. So we are said that ABCD is a parallelogram, correct? So ABCD is a parallelogram. So what we can do is, also we, this is B point B, and we also have BC vector equals to root of 8, and BC is column vector of BC equals to what? So column vector of BC is equals to minus A and minus of B. So you should know that this BC vector derived from this one only, right? So root of 8 we have to get it from this one. So BC is root of 8, so we can write it as a square plus b square equals to root of 8, right? So we can get uh, so if we cancel it out, the root and root got cancelled out, so a square plus b square equals to 8. So you should be able to find out the value of a and b. So a is only possible with 2 and b is also possible with 2. See, if I put a as 2 and b as 2, then only I'll get the value of value of bc as 8, right? So a value is 2 and b value is also equals to 2 here. So if I get the value of a and b as 2, so what is actually here, it is bc, b to c. If I go, it is minus of, it symbolize, it's going minus of 2, that is a, and it's going minus of 2 again, right? So from b, if I go minus 2 unit, minus of 2 unit, so I'll be reaching 5 is point b, right? Minus by 8, so 6 7 minus 7 I'll be reaching. So from, so I'll be reaching minus of 2 and minus of 2 coming down, right? So from 8 I'll be coming down to 6. So this is point C, correct? Minus 2, that is the vector. This is what I have represented here. So this is BC vector. So same, because it's a parallelogram, the same property where it is going to happen over here also. So here also -2 and -2 here also it should come, right? Because it's a parallelogram. Because we in a parallelogram opposite sides are parallel, right? So it's the same thing, -2 if it is following from that side in BC format, BC length, then it should also follow AC length, right? So we got the value of uh, we got the coordinate of D as, see this will be D because we are going -2 unit towards left and -2 units towards the downside. So we got the D as this is the point D. So we got D as 0, 5. So I hope you understand this question. So this is the end of the question paper. If you like this, please subscribe my channel and like and share. Thank you so much for watching.